So, and like once in a while, actually, approximately like 2 times a year, we organize such webinars to increase awareness about IELTS writing, speaking, listening, reading. I mean, like reading and listening webinars usually are more common in comparison to IELTS writing webinars because IELTS webinars usually take more time in terms of preparation, in terms of organization, in terms of structuring, and so on and so forth, right? So they are these precious gems that we usually, just and we don't just. Okay, just a moment, please. Hold out them. Regularly, only once in a while, or more precisely, 2 times a year. Right. And why this webinar? Why have we decided to share our knowledge regarding coherence and cohesion in IELTS essay? First things first is that we have been working with our IELTS guru for quite some time, and we have already compiled so much resources, so much material, so much knowledge, and so much information that we desperately want to share with our students and with our potential students as well. And of course, we have like we don't like our maybe the results of our students speak louder than any word that come out of my mouth right now, because the average score of our students, the average score is 7.0 for academic, 7.5, right? And you see right now on the screen that I've just highlighted to you, yeah, that some of students, they kind of get 7.0, 7.5, that's advanced English. Advanced academic English, that's not a mean feat. It's hard to achieve, but it's manageable. And I'm gonna show you right now the step-by-step approach how to make this dream come true with the help of our webinar. But first, let's play. Yeah, let's play the game, which is called Victor или Victoria. Yeah, Victor means like, oh, okay, but I mean, like, it's better not to do that during the exam, right? Victoria means like a 10 out of 10, just, the standard you better follow in your IELTS writing experience. So take a look at this particular body paragraph. Yeah, the underlying intellectual justification animating the proposition that the provision of therapeutic, sorry, more people are joining, I'm sorry. Yeah, of therapeutic clinical interventions ought to be accorded paramount precedence, find its primary conceptual foundation rooted firmly within a dual framework of argumentative paradigms. So, what do you think? Is it Victor or is it Victoria? Is it too much or is it okay to write something like this during the exam? So please type just in our Zoom chat, like either Victor or Victoria, in English, right? To give it a shine. hmm Today we're gonna dispel some myth, yeah, because IELTS is literally shrouded in so many myths, and yeah, today we're about to debunk all of them. Whether it is okay or not okay to write like this during the exam. Victoria, it seems to be too much. Perhaps Victor. I see. Okay, more answers, please. What do you think? Is it Victor or Victoria? Is it like uh too much? That better not to write like that during the exam, or is it like yeah, it's okay to write like that during the exam? Absolutely okay. It's a standard that has to be followed. Mm-hmm. Victoria. Okay, so actually it's Victor because that's too much. The same idea can be condensed to just this sentence. The reasoning behind the data that medical care should be prioritized is based on two argument, and that's it. That's too much water. That's too much. I mean, like it's gonna take you like how much time, right? During the exam, and during the exam, the time is the most precious thing that you cannot just squander. Like writing something useless and writing something like that does not kind of perform its communicative purpose, right? Nice. Let's move forward. What do you think about this one? Please read it and type in our chat whether it's Victor or Victoria. Mm-hmm. I see. To recapitulate, delineated in the preceding paragraphs, um, incontrovertible. Oh my God, that's a mouthful, to be honest. Um, okay, waiting for everybody. Just type in our Zoom chat, Victor, Victoria. Do you think it's okay, or do you think it's not okay to write like that during the exam and in general, right? To have such a style of writing in your essays. Uh-huh. I see. Guys, that's too much. That's too much. I mean, like the same idea can be just described using the following words, and that's it. Take a look. In short, these policies would cause unexpected economic problems. Yeah. Can you imagine how difficult it would be for an examiner to just trudge through this dense text and understand what this text is all about, right? The meaning, the overall idea. So I would advise you to stay away from such heavy loaded, too intricate, just too much of a text. Right. Let's move forward. What do you think about this one, Victor or Victoria? Mm-hmm. Overall, I am of the opinion that unlimited access to finite resources does more harm than good on different levels. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Victoria, to be honest. Yeah, it's just, yeah, very concise, very precise, not taking that much space and time to write, to put it into words. And you can see they're exaggerated too much of a, yeah, too much of an alternative on the left. Yeah, take a look. Pertinent dimensions, comprehensible consideration, philosophical posture. This is too much. So kind of like your ability to be concise and precise in your wording is just one step towards making your IELTS essay the essay type of Victoria's Secret. Okay, what about this one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, by the way, I want to remind you, right, that kind of they are that those students who are gonna be more active during our like in chat, like provide more answers, suggest more answers, even if they're not correct, right? We're gonna kind of give you present you with a one week with us with Karina and I and me, right, on our course free of charge. So you better be more active. Yep. Yeah, let's take a look what is that. Yeah, it's Victoria. It's nice. It's nice, and it's a great pattern for your introduction. It's perfect. It's beautifully written. I mean, like you just kind of can remove some words, some specific words, and include those words, for example, that are included in your topic, right? And like anything, for example, whether somebody should do something towards, I don't know, is a contentious question, one fueled by, and then the unprecedented strides made in science, technology, development, medicine, whatever. I mean, like, this is a great pattern. And this is, yeah, Victor, too much, too much. Right, just polar, a deeply paralyzing conundrum, perpetually inflamed by the, oh my God, that's too much. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was just a game, right? And right now we're moving forward to our first layer of connection between paragraphs. And the task for you is the following. Can you please match a template with an essay type? In general, IELTS essays can be divided into 6 types. Both sides essay, opinion essay, advantages, disadvantages essay, problem solution, positive or negative development, and two-part question. So here is a perfect pattern for you. Can you please read it through and just put in our chat A, B, C, D, E, or F? I just want to kind of take a look. This is the opinion I disagree with for two reasons, right? Uh-huh. And then you provide the main reason is that, right? Another reason stems from the fact that, right? So you just kind of express your opinion. And of course, it is an opinion essay, right? Because you say, like, it has been suggested that, and which is the opinion I disagree with for two reasons, of course. So afterwards, like after this webinar, we're going to upload all the materials on our, like in our chat. And I would definitely encourage you to use the same templates with your essay writing experience. Okay, thank you. Let's do the next one. Please match a template with an essay type. Take your time. Nice. Yeah. Because we have what, like, two possible reasons for this, right? Two measures that can be taken to hold something, right? And the effects of these activities can be mitigated. Measure, one more measure. So we're kind of solving some problems, right? We have a cause and solution essay, right? Some causes for some problems and some solutions to these problems. This is just a perfect template for your cause and solution essay. Nice. Let's move forward. One more template, please. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, take a look. While some people believe something, 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 I side with those who believe something, 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 right? This is both sides essay when you can discuss both sides and give your opinion. You have some people think this, other people think that. I side with those who believe that. Perfect. 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 Thank you. And right now, I want to introduce you the topic that we're going to discuss today. And by the way, by the end of our webinar, you're going to have not just the new knowledge and new experience and new structures and new devices, you will also have a fully written sample essay. Where you will not see any, like redundant cohesive devices, like such as like or maybe overly used, overly relied on cohesive device, you will see smart ways how to improve coherence and cohesion. And this is the topic our essay is about. Some people think that they have the right to use as much fresh water as they want, while others believe government should tightly control the use of fresh water as it is a limited resource. Discuss both use and give your opinion. So this is our essay topic. And this is actually the introduction that we wrote for this essay. And by the way, I hope that you've noticed that this is a template, right? Whether access to fresh water should be restricted is a contentious question. One fueled by the fact that fresh water supplies are limited. I hope that you remember that once, just a couple of slides ago, we discussed this template. So you see, that's kind of a very universal and versatile template. It can be used when you have like two opposite sides regarding one argument or the other. Yeah. Okay. So here is our introduction, right? While some people argue that they should have unrestricted freedom over water consumption, I agree with those who advocate for strict government regulation of this resource to ensure long-term sustainability. And right now, I want you to choose one option, A, B, or C, which is better connected with this intro. Take your time, please. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. Thank you. More answers, please. I love that when you are so active. And yeah, this is the best that tutor can get. Okay, so the right answer is A. Why? Because B and C options a bit abrupt, are too much abrupt to be honest. And I want to remind you that the first main body that goes after your introduction is kind of the side of the argument that you disagree with, right? So this is somebody else's opinion, not yours. So you have to distance yourself. You have to show that this is not opinion that I agree with, right? The reasoning behind the statement that people have the right, you distance yourself. This is not my opinion. While BC options, they don't have any sort of cohesion whatsoever. They are abrupt. Here, at least, we have maybe a bit of a lexical coherence and cohesion because, I mean, like the topic was right about like people having the right to use as much fresh water as they want. But here, it's just a new idea put forward. Where does it come from? Human survival depends on. I mean, like this is completely new idea. You have to prepare your reader, yeah, for this, for new information. And actually, yeah, the golden rule of writing, all before new. Yeah, all before new. And here you have some people argue this, some people argue that, right? Like argue, advocate. This is reasoning, right? Some people have this reasoning, some people have that reasoning. The reasoning behind. Okay, thank you so much. Let's move forward to our next layer, connection within paragraphs, how ideas are connected. Actually, this is my favorite part of this webinar because there are so many ways how to connect sentences together within one paragraph. Yeah, and these options, they are not limited to besides, furthermore, moreover, however, because these are overly used and overly like dependent, like overly relied on, you know? We have more options. English is very rich in terms of cohesive devices. So let's look at some of them. Yeah, but first, let's just take a look at how we can introduce ideas. Yeah, so this is our first main body paragraph. This is the side of the argument that we disagree with. I mean, like, this is somebody else's opinion, right? Can you take a look at this paragraph and just tell me, is it okay or not okay? Right? We have like, and here I'm talking just about how two main ideas, are introduced in this body. Mm-hmm. Yeah, here I'm just interested on like this transition, right? Two reasons. First, second. I highlighted specifically them for you, right? So you kind of just please assess this type of coherence and cohesion, especially for this transition, right? Transition type. Do you think it's okay to introduce ideas with first, second? You have like two reasons, first, second. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about the ideas. I wouldn't say that they are repetitive. They're a bit different. Actually, it's okay. It's okay to use first, second. Nothing is wrong with using first, second. It's absolutely all right, especially given the fact that we have some part of an introduction, right? Two reasons. Okay, I know what first refers to. The first reason, right? The second reason. It's absolutely okay to introduce your main ideas within the body like that. But we have just more sophisticated alternatives. Yeah, let's glow it up. For example, you have one on two arguments. One is that, the second argument is that. It just kind of a bit of a better option, or just maybe not even a better option, just kind of more alternatives, more tools in your shed, right? So you will not only rely on first, second, which is kind of overused. And of course, you have to impress. Sometimes you have to impress, and such subtle and but at the same time, right, very impactful cohesion will do the job. And we can actually take it up a notch, take it up to the next level, when you don't limit your transition devices to first, second. One argument is that the second argument is that you don't limit yourself to this. You have more options, yeah, because you can create more meanings out of the words at your disposal. And here is our first sentence. Yeah, can be traced back to an indispensable role this resource plays in human survival and daily life. So human survival is kind of the first argument, right? We're going to talk about survival. Because basic sustenance, right? Because we need to drink, we need to cook, we need water for drinking, for cooking, just to survive. And daily life, that's a bit of a different level, right? A bit of a different level, just kind of household sanitation, personal hygiene, right? Preventing serious health problems. It's maybe not the basic, not such basic, right? Needs like drinking water. Yeah, we cannot survive without water for drinking or for cooking. Guys, can you suggest your alternatives? What can we use to reflect human survival as an argument here and daily life as an argument here? Adjectives. You need an adjective. So that's kind of one level and another level. How can you name these levels? Nice. Some kind of a basic, right, level. Okay, more ideas, more ideas. So please come up with synonyms for human survival for the first gap and daily life for the second. Okay, you are thinking in the right direction. So the first gap should be something basic, right? Something a necessity, right? Survival level, right? On the surface, right? On the surface. Fundamental. Nice, 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 nice. At a primary level. Perfect. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that. Actually, we can say like at a fundamental level, I think you're thinking like about like just the basic. Yeah, the basic stuff, right? Just drinking and cooking. Yeah, eat and drink. Yeah, the basic needs, right? And then you can beyond immediate survival, right? Not just survival, right? Just kind of other, yeah, like other aspects of our life. Yeah, that where water plays an indispensable role, not just survival. So do you get it? Do you this kind of a bit of a more sophisticated way how to introduce your ideas, right? Through lexical cohesion, coherence and cohesion. Can you please put plus or minus in our Zoom chat, whether you get it or not? Mm-hmm. Okay, nice, nice. Mm-hmm. Thank you, thank you. So, but of course, yeah, this option requires from you to put your ideas, right, in your topic sentence. Yeah, of course, you don't kind of overly explain them, even though you don't even overly introduce them. You just, yeah, it's a collocation, immediate survival. It's kind of at fundamental level, human survival, immediate survival, right? It's a collocation. So that's a bit more sophisticated, but it exists. Okay. Yeah, that is actually my favorite part. How sentences are connected. So, guys, let's take a look at one of the options how you connect your sentences within the body. And this is so simple, so basic, but at the same time, so underused in comparison to in addition or besides. Actually, this is what it looks like. For example, your sentence starts with something like that. There is another process that improves neighborhoods around poor children, both by bringing high income peers near to them and by reducing the violence they're exposed to. This process often occurs without explicit governmental intervention or cost. So what we essentially did is repeat the main, the core, the most fundamental in terms of meaning and context word in the next sentence. And that's it. Right. That's actually what we did here as well, right? Take a look at it, right? Take a look at this example as well. Take your time, please. So command that command, right? So you just need to repeat the most fundamental word which carries the most meaning in the previous sentence and start with it, right? That's a bit of a kind of, we don't specifically start with this, with this kind of, with this word, but it's just kind of some maybe secondary ideas were put forward here. I mean, like, by the way, these are examples that we specifically fished out for in their journal, The Atlantic. We liked it so much. We use it exclusively. We use it intensively for our IELTS speaking club. Right. Yeah, we don't need to paraphrase, to be honest, here. And right now, your turn. So can you please fill in the gap with a word that should be repeated? In the previous sentence, we have the need to belong or feel different fluctuates depending on any number of factors. Your job, the town you live in, the friend group surrounding you. What should come next? To belong and feel different, this has two distinct needs. Mm-hmm. 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 Nice. Perfect. Thank you. Perfect. Of course. Of course, of course, of course. It should be these needs, not just needs, right? Because you refer to specific sort of needs that you have already introduced in your previous sentence, right? So, because these tells us this is something that I have already told you about, remember? Yeah, like this performs as kind of a function. Yep. We cannot put need without ending s because we have operate, right? I mean, like the plural. Thank you. Let's practice more. We further suggest that scientists, as citizens of their society, have a responsibility to ensure that their discoveries and innovations are used for good and not for bad. Okay, your turn. Just repeat the word. Uh-huh. Thank you. Nice. Perfect. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, that's, I mean, like their responsibility, this responsibility, it can be such a responsibility, right? It can work. We don't use such their responsibility, yeah, because such a it's kind of a fixed expression, yeah. But such a responsibility is a reference to a responsibility mentioned in the previous sentence. Okay, so no cohesive devices. You build cohesion out of the words already given in your sentence. That's very natural, authentic way how to connect your sentences together. Okay, okay, let's do it more. Let's kind of practice more. There's actually the extra activities that we specifically added for those students who came to our previous webinar. So please fill in the gaps. You can put just two options. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Well done. Great job. Perfect. Thank you. Right. That's what we did. The gardens, the steel. You can also be like the slab, the steel, right? Because they are used interchangeably. Perfect. 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 So did you get this type of a task, type of a coherence and cohesion? Can you please put plus or minus in our chat? It's very relatively easy, right? But it's very natural. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I also wanted to show you something more, something like more options, how to do that. Because you see that in the previous on the previous slides there was like the response like a responsibility to do something and something and something, right? So after this word responsibility we're supposed to repeat at the start of the next sentence, right? There were some words, some extra words, right? Sometimes you can just repeat the last word of your previous sentence and that's it. Let me show you. For example, we can be technological optimists, even though many leaders in technology need redirection. That redirection must be guided by values that science itself can't provide, right? What's more, we have officials in cities such as have moved to rein in the excesses of harm reduction policies. Nevertheless, these policies retain a powerful hold. So you just start with what you've ended your previous sentence. Or here, you can still see indentations where iron clamps held marble slabs, the slabs. This is also a perfect way how to build connection between your sentences. But we move forward. Mhm. A bit more sophisticated because you have to change the form of the word. For example, it used to be like this. It is also possible to find new ways of using it, to say things in a way no one has ever heard before. This possibility exists because we can appeal to something more fundamental than language, our experience of reality, which are so varied and surprising that language can never exhaust them, right? So in your previous sentence, you've mentioned like it is possible to do something and something and something, right? And then you'd kind of transform, you convert this adjective into a noun, usually it's a noun, and you say this possibility, and this builds a perfect bridge between your previous sentence and the next sentence. Let's practice. I want to give you some time right now to read these examples on your own and just type in our Zoom chat one word, and this word should be a noun. Mm-hmm. 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 Waiting for everybody to type in our chat. Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Nice. Of course, that's it, right? We have like combination, right? What sort of combination? We have high self-belief and high self-doubt. The combination, right, of a high need for cognition and epistemic humility is a recipe for a lifelong learning. The same as here, right? Once we have power, we lose. That loss, right? Or the anesthetic. Yeah, anesthetic. Yeah, more like anesthetized and the anesthetic. Right. Let's practice more because we have more examples. This is actually my favorite yeah, transition between paragraphs, between sentences, sorry. So here's your example. And please transform the word demolish into a noun form with a definite. Anesthesia, the second, is a condition of being anesthetized, while anesthetic is a medicine. Mm-hmm. Okay, waiting for your answers. To demolish. One more time. Don't forget the definite article, right? The. And like transform the verb demolish into a noun. Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 Right? Mm-hmm. Perfect. That's gonna be the demolitions. Take a look. I mean, like, this part is actually the kind of a explanation, right, for Atlanta received one of the first grants awarded by the federal Hope V program, right? Then we have like more. This is called like we have this is a positive, right? If described linguistically, but in general, this is like extra explanation. What is this program all about? Right? So if we kind of leave this part out, we have program to do what? To demolish and rebuild. The demolitions, right? So program to do something and something. The demolition. Mhm. Right. More, please. That it's going to be a bit more challenging because I want to see how you will come, yeah, whether you will come up or not with an not like a noun form or something like that for behold. Yeah, what do we do when you don't maybe remember the noun form, right? The standard noun form. Or maybe there is none. What do you do? What options do you have? Okay. Uh-huh. To behold. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, don't be shy. Uh-huh. Type your answers. Yeah. It's a safe space to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. Of course, this beholding. So that's what you should do. For example, if your verb does not have a perfect standard noun alternative, yeah, we don't have the word like beholdment, behold, well, like whatever, right? No, nothing, right? So you just kind of put a gerund here with the ing form. Perfect. This beholding. Right. Sorry, guys. Do you have any questions about the this type of coherence and cohesion between the sentences? Plus, minus. If plus means you got it, right? You got it. It's easy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you. But maybe we move on, right? We move on because we have a lot to unpack. Okay. Right now, even more sophisticated because here we have to search for synonyms. right? You don't work with the same word, you search for synonyms. For example, it is unsurprising that poor material circumstances at birth predict poverty in adulthood. Less obvious is the fact that poor children living in concentrated poverty, like those in infamous superblock towers, face worse outcomes than poor children who live near wealthier peers. So, unsurprising, something that is not surprising, like obvious, right? So, we came up with a perfect pair of synonyms. And with this pair of synonyms, we build the bridge between the previous sentence and the next one. And right now, your turn. It's not necessarily should be an adjective, it can be anything. For example, it's hard to imagine such a cavernous theater we find ourselves in, but it is even more hard to imagine, right? So, can you please suggest your synonymous phrase, too hard to imagine? Even more unexpected. Makes sense? Why not? It can be an adjective. Even more unimaginable. Even more impressive, even more surprising, right? Even more, challenging. Wow, guys, nice. Even more, yeah, tough, right? Tough to imagine, something like that, right? You want something like that. Mm-hmm. Even more challenging, unrealistic, unbelievable, perfect, 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 right? But uh, since yeah, like IELTS likes, like parallel constructions. Hard to imagine, even more hard to imagine, right? You could have done something like that. Difficult to fathom, right? Hard, difficult, hard, challenging, tough. Yeah, fathom это вообразить, imagine something, right? Right. Also difficult to wrap your mind around something, right? Or difficult to maybe to understand, difficult to believe, difficult to imagine. Yep, something like that. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, hard to imagine. Perfect. Thank you. Uh-huh. Yeah, picture. Yeah, it can also work. It can also work. It can also work, sorry. Uh, difficult to picture it. Okay. And we move forward. But we move forward because we have a bit more sophisticated synonymous phrase. Usually it goes like this. You have a verbal phrase and you change this verbal phrase into a noun phrase. For example, AI writing never challenges the way we think or see. It can't do so, even if you explicitly ask it to. And this limitation reveals something important about the source of human creativity, right? It can't do so. Он не может, и this limitation. And I want to try your hand at the same, right? Here, of course, I mean, like, there are many options, there are many alternatives, many variants, so just kind of go crazy. For example, the word ask. Yeah, please read the whole paragraph and try to find like this and change ask into a noun. Они попросили all climbers to do something. Это просьба, да? Они попросили, это просьба. М? Мгм. Okay, more options, more options. What do you remember? Yeah, for the word просьба in English. Uh-huh. Heed, usually you heed advice, то есть pay attention to advice, то есть слушать совета, yeah? Heed advice. Мгм. А обращать внимание на какой-то совет, слушаться совета. Следовать совету. Okay, this request. Yeah, right. Okay, so they asked clamors to stay away for the duration of the operation, and everyone heeded this request. То есть все прислушались, кроме, да? Okay, ask this request. But it's not advice. It's actually a request. Move forward. Let's move forward. I want to show you something more. You see, like late bloomers learn more slowly, but also more deeply, precisely because they are exploring on their own. То есть, смотрите, у нас есть тут фраза explore on their own. Yeah, the benefits of acquired compound over time. I just want to show you something because there are more exercises. So, what can be suggested as a synonymous phrase, especially noun phrase, for exploring, especially on their own, right? Autonomously. So on their own goes for self-taught, right? And whenever you explore something, you learn something. So this self-taught knowledge. Yeah, that wasn't an exercise. I just wanted to show you something. Okay. But yeah, we have more exercises to practice. So let's give it a go. Here, this is actually a difficult one. So those of students who have C1 or B2 plus, just in general, I want everyone to try they handed it. But take a look. Here, not all of the words are highlighted. We have like Egyptologist described a papyrus as breathtaking. Another German professor called the papyrus a sensation. So, guys, you need to give me a noun which tells, which kind of explores the maybe tells us about the concept of describing somebody as breathtaking, calling somebody a sensation, right? Praising somebody, right? Commenting on their exception, maybe how exceptional they are, supporting them, commenting. Это хвала, да? Вот это вот хвала, потому что describe a papyrus as breathtaking and called the papyrus a sensation. Это хвальба, халва, sorry. Yeah, praise. So you need to give me an alternative. Хвальба. But I need a noun, a noun. A praise and praise are not the same. A praise is different. A praise is like evaluate. So something like praise, yeah, these compliments, right? Something like maybe these words of admiration. What else? What else do you have? Okay, it can happen. That's very, to be honest, I mean, like the word that was initially, like put here, yeah, it's kind of C1 plus kind of a level. But I just want to show you that it's everywhere, regardless of what kind of level we're talking about. Actually, it's going to be these endorsements because endorsement, it's like a praise, like whenever you endorse somebody or something, usually we talk about endorsement about, like professional sportsmen or some celebrities, right? Kind of marketing some product, telling like, oh, this product or this service is so nice, it's perfect, it's top notch. I highly recommend it to buy it, right? It usually goes like this, like for example, when sportsmen or just in general, like famous people, celebrities market and advertise some products. They tell the audience that this product is perfect. But these endorsements, like also like these words of praise. So guys, can you please type in our Zoom chat whether this word was new for you or not? Like a new means that you didn't know it right before, and yeah, you can say like old, yeah, that you knew it. I was reading like this article yesterday, and I saw this example because we were fishing out for more examples for this an extra example, and I was like, but I would never call it new, right? And I was like, and I saw this perfect example, and I was like, I desperately want to show it to my students. Huh? Okay, nice. Yep. One more difficult task. But yeah, but I think we have to speed up. So I just want to show you one more. Yep, it's also C1, a bit C1-ish. So you have this is not an exercise. Just let me show you something. For many years, he was a member of the entity that oversees the Vatican's canonization process, serving as one of the clergymen designated to ask the hard questions. Like what kind of word works the best, yeah, to substitute serve as, right? То есть он выполнял такую-то роль, да, или он служил такой-то должности, right? Now, I think it's actually not that difficult. This responsibility. Mm-hmm. Nice. What else? So he served as one of the clergymen designated to ask the hard questions. Serve as this role, this responsibility, this role. What else? This position. Uh-huh. No. Not, it's not about slaves. Actually, you're right. Just this, the role. The role. So what you did, you substituted a very lengthy verbal phrase, right, with a noun which represents the concept, the role. It's perfect. But all of your options, I mean, like the role, the job, the position, the responsibility, perfect. Yeah, eat it. Okay, and a bit more sophisticated. Actually, we are moving closer to the end, right? And to showing you the second main body paragraph, so buckle up, yeah? And let's move forward. But by the way, guys, have you noticed that an hour has passed? I just want to ask. I mean, look, that's like we have been grinding the topic of coherence and cohesion for an hour. Have you noticed? Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, because it's very interesting. Like I love this topic and fishing out for all of these examples and so on and so forth. Yep. So let's discuss shall nouns. That is example that we want to show you. Um, so I can relate to the earning for preservation. If my mom leaves my child at home, I will lose the particular sweet smell. I can't even describe it that wafts through the living room on hot days, the pinch of acorns under my bare feet in the yard, and the specific lilt of the birdsong in the early morning, so different from what I hear now, just over 15 miles away. I'm scared that without those sensations, the filing cabinet deep in my mind, holding all these everyday snippets of memory, will get pushed out just out of my reach. You see, you have different examples. Sweet smell, the pinch of acorns, the specific lilt of the bird song, right? So what are these? Like, because these are specific details, specific examples, but they can be described with one word which encompasses all of this example, right? And gives them and gives this group a name. And that is sensations. So what that is actually what shall nouns are about. You summarize what you've previously told in the previous sentence. You gave different examples, different details, and then you group them and you name this group. They usually they're usually named as shall nouns, summarizing words, or umbrella terms. Because take a look at the umbrella, right? This is umbrella. And here, right, like this drops, they represent different example. But this umbrella, it encompasses, it holds all of these examples together, right? And this is what shall nouns are for. So right now, let's grind coherence and cohesion even more and work with shall nouns. Guys, here are your answers, A, B, C. You need to fill them in, right? And type them in our Zoom chat. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay, waiting for other for the answers from other participants, please. Yeah, please take an active part. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. So, regress on visits back. That's a tendency, right? Flip through photo albums and reread our old journals. These are methods, right? To reminisce, to take us back to, yeah, remember the good times, old good times, something like that, right? And we have um, conformity and avoidance when something is too popular, right? These are motivations. I want to fit in, I want to stand out. These are motivations. Thank you. Thank you. Let's move forward. We have more. Take your time, please. Give me one option. Mhm. So please choose a word that would describe kids, right? Um, the ones, yeah, who won't stop with the commentary, the ones who raise their hand not to answer a question but to challenge its premise, the contrarians, the antagonists. These are students. Perfect. Yeah, people, right? We need people. We need people. And we have here kids, right? And they make teachers' life miserable, right? It's the students. Nice. Perfect. Move forward. Let's move forward. Next, please. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you need to choose a shall noun for when they refuse, when they ask, when they show integrity. And these are moments. Beautiful. Yeah. These are moments. Nice. These are moments. Okay, a bit more difficult. Take a look. We have the confrontation was ugly, but it led to a more honest, long overdue accounting of the historical relationship between Sherpas and foreign climbers, an assessment reinforced by a labor strike prompted by the 2014 right avalanche. You need to find a word, a shell noun that will encompass confrontation and a labor strike. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, incidents. Yeah, incidents, right? That's incident. Perfect. Great job. Okay, we have more. Perfect. Thank you. We have biotechnology, blah, 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 right? This rapidly developing what? A shall noun, please. Actually, yeah, it's a bit difficult, right? It's mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. I understand those of you who chose subject, but then the right answer is field D, right? Because we have usually like field of yeah, like field of science, right? But subject can in some contexts it can also work because biotechnology is a subject that can be taught right at in universities, but not interest, right? For example, some people are not interested in biotechnology, and job is also is relevant to only a small group of people. Yeah. About occurrences, actually, it is a great job because I was when desperately what is happening? I wanted to show you this something like incidents and occurrences. Occurrences kind of how often something occurs, right? It's kind of the rate of something happening, right? Occurrence. So it happened, right? So in I was even thinking about the fact that it can actually be used interchangeably with the word incidents, but occurrences doesn't have the connotation of something bad happening because you see confrontation, labor, strike, these are kind of violent actions, right? Incidents can be violent, but occurrence is not necessarily. Yeah, so here incidents would just fit better. Mhm. Okay, guys, we're approaching the end of the webinar, and but there's one more. So, relationship with the museum was of the books, right? No contract, no insurance, no notification, no nothing. How would you describe this? Summarize it with one word. Trouble. It can be trouble, right? Of the books means like unofficial, right? Nobody made a deal, something like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's gonna be the arrangement. Yeah, the arrangement. They arrange the relationships this way. Okay. And right now, guys, here is our second body paragraph. And could you please choose the best shell nouns for devastating droughts, water wars and civil unrest, and pricing, metering, and consumption capping? You need to choose three options out of six. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. So let's see. This is gonna be strain. The first is strain. The next is crisis, right? With the plural because wars and unrest, like two. Then regulatory approach, pricing, metering, and consumption capping. Strain, right? Because maybe some of you maybe didn't know the word strain. Strain is like натяжение, напряжение, то есть это какое-то вот проблема, да, в общем, по-другому еще можно сказать, что это проблема, да. Но вообще strain– это натяжение, напряжение, да, devastating droughts, this environmental strain. You see, great job. I mean, come on, this is like a whole body paragraph, and then you build connection between the sentences very naturally, very authentically. You haven't used any moreover, furthermore, besides, and blah, blah, blah. Right, you worked with the text, you worked with the language, and as a result, you have a beautifully written sentence. Okay, so we have only one left. Third layer, connection within sentence. How are you feeling? Can you please kind of put plus or minus? Plus means that you understand everything. Minus means that, yeah, maybe something is not quite clear. Yeah, are you alive or not? Um, Let me check. Would we also use effects in number two? I see crisis a better, but still could we? Oh, effects. It's not effects. Effects is like, oh, it's good, it's bad. What are worse than civil unrest? This is just kind of just it happened. Mm-hmm. Effects, I mean, like if you had something like, it was both. Maybe it affected their situation in the country both positively and negatively. These effects. Then yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh-huh. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, you've been training, like coherence and cohesion for more than an hour already. Perfect. Nice. Proud of you. So, connection within the sentence. Let me show you two sentences. One is Victor and the other is Victoria. So, documenting languages is important, not least because it means communities can better revive them if they eventually choose to revive them. And that's kind of not very elegant. Yeah, let's spruce it up a bit. Documenting languages is important, not least because it means communities can better revive them if they eventually choose to do so. To do so, did so, having done so, doing so, right? This is a perfect way for you to substitute the verb that you are about to repeat. And as a result, make your sentence elegant. Let's train. Here is the first sentence, right? There is a great deal of disagreement on how even to measure happiness and fairly weak evidence that measuring happiness makes us significantly happier. So please modify do so it matches measuring happiness. Yeah, because we have two times, right? How even to measure happiness. And weak evidence that measuring happiness makes us significantly happier. Like you repeat the same thing twice in the sentence within one small, teeny tiny sentence. We need to spruce it up a bit. Mhm. Okay, more examples, more answers. You just have to modify do, right? Do so. Because do so is kind of a root, right? But it can be having done so, doing so, did so, does so, just do so, doing so. Having done so. Okay, more options. Okay, it's actually easier than maybe some of you have maybe imagined. It's just doing so. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just kind of measuring happiness, and then you should be like doing so, and that's it. Let me type it in our chat. Doing so. Okay. So you just kind of repeated measuring happiness, right? In terms of like the form, the structure, but right, without repeating measuring happiness. Okay, one more. Police said that then that he had been known to sleepwalk and had sleepwalk early Thursday. So police said that he had been known to sleepwalk, and you have already so just modify the verb do so it matches had sleepwalked. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of course, had done so, right? I'm sorry. Had done so because had sleepwalked. Had done so. Nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. The last one that's a bit difficult, but still. The board carefully evaluated the financial risk of the merger. Having carefully evaluated the financial risk of the merger, they voted unanimously to approve the acquisition. Mm-hmm. Nice. Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. You're right. Haven't done so, right? Because I mean, why do you need to repeat this like the same phrase over and over again, right? Carefully evaluated the financial risk of the merger. Haven't carefully evaluated the financial risk of the merger. No need. No need. No need. Yep. And we also have like the same. We can also kind of substitute the repeat. I'm promising you that's the last. The same words within the sentence. For example, the ethical framework of the original research protocol was exceptionally robust. The amended version, adopted for expedited review, was regrettably less robust. And in order not to repeat the word robust the second time around, you can just say less so. And right now, it's your turn to modify our conclusion, because in our conclusion, we have that unrestricted access to fresh water is admittedly important due to the role it plays in meeting essential daily needs. Averting water depletion, however, is even more important as this crisis can bring about ecological and political collapse. Therefore, strict governmental control of water use is completely justified. So do something with the second important because it is a sore eyesore. Mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Even more so. Even more so. So that's actually it. You see, even more so, you have completed the full journey of boosting your coherence and cohesion, right? To make your essay is Секрет Виктора, right? Of Victoria Secret. Can you please put plus? Everything is understandable. You got everything. It was, yeah, manageable. Mm-hmm. It was useful, right? It was useful. Uh-huh. You can, by the way, if you want the kind of the presentation and like the recording right away, yeah, please send me a message on Telegram. I will send all of the materials to you right away. Just kind of send me a message. И сейчас немножко перейду на русский. Я хотела пригласить вас в нашу группу, которая стартует уже совсем скоро. Будем с вами также работать и по Coherence и Cohesion, и по всем секциям. Мы работаем вместе с моей коллегой Кариной, которая, к сожалению, сегодня не смогла присутствовать на вебинаре, но при этом внесла огромный вклад в данный вебинар и его содержание. И да, Софья наша студентка. Она сейчас занимается на курсе, и вот она, видите, вам рекомендует очень сильно к нам присоединиться. Я, к сожалению, почему-то не подготовила заранее вам, она была готова. Я не подготовила заранее вам наш сайт. Just a moment, please. We just recently created it. Да. Давайте покажу вам наш сайт, для того, чтобы вы что посмотрели его вместе с нами. И как раз-таки вам отправлю ссылочку сейчас, чтобы вы на него тоже посмотрели. Так, да, делали мы его столько же времени, сколько этот вебинар, очень долго, если честно. Давайте посмотрим. В общем, это мы с Кариной, мы работаем уже больше 2 лет вместе. До этого мы работали в другой школе, еще отдельно. И, в общем, мы с ней знакомы уже года 3-4, мы дружим, путешествуем вместе, получается, учимся вместе и вообще все делаем вместе. Ведем наших студентов тоже вместе. И у нас супер классный проект, потому что он сочетает в себе огромный опыт работы в других IELTS-школах, и плюс мы видели своими глазами, что вообще работает, а что не работает, абсолютно вообще не работает. И собрали все воедино. То есть у нас есть содержание, потому что мы тандем, да, то есть какая-то комбинация. У нас есть наш курс, это тоже комбинация индивидуальных, личных занятий и групповых занятий. И давайте посмотрим, что вообще тут у нас с вами есть. Как я уже говорила, у нас 7.0 это средний балл наших студентов, у вас будет 2 преподавателя, 8 письменных работ в месяц, мы также проводим мойки, 28 уроков по максимуму вы можете посетить в месячную подписку. Письмо записано у нас на платформе, 22 урока в записи на Google Classroom. Мы уже подготовили больше 200 студентов, и наша подписка стоит 16 тысяч рублей. Очень, на самом деле, manageable, да, или очень даже cheap в сравнении с тем, сколько вы получаете. Сейчас покажу, что вы получаете. Это вот мы с Кариной. Итак, смотрите, как у нас устроена подготовка. Получается, IELTS Listening и IELTS Reading — это групповые занятия, на которых вы делаете что? Правильно, вы тренируете навык, да? То есть никаких уроков записи, в плане того, что, знаете, есть какие-то recorded lessons, где у вас нету этого взаимодействия с преподавателем, то, что вы тренируете навык. Нет, вы будете тренировать навык. Мы тренируем на время, мы изучаем стратегии, мы работаем со скриптами, смотрим то есть максимально воссоздаем ситуацию экзамена, чтобы вы попотели вместе с нами на уроке, да, но потом выдали самое лучшее свой перформанс уже на самом экзамене. Да, IELTS Speaking Club у нас в формате Flipped Classroom на аутентике. Вот даже сегодня, да, вот мы с вами очень много разобрали примеров из статьи Atlantic. Там было просто куча примеров из этого журнала. У нас есть подписки на всякие разные журналы, и вы будете читать аутентику. На базе этой аутентики мы обычно выстраиваем наш Speaking Club как в формате IELTS, который, то есть у нас там есть personal questions, далее есть более абстрактные, более general questions, и вообще все вопросы, которые у нас выстраиваются, все упражнения, они очень сильно отражают критерии IELTS оценивания. То есть fluency, coherence, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy and pronunciation. То есть это такой полностью упакованный speaking club, где вы мало того, что вы набираетесь идей, то есть тренируете вокабуляр, тренируете грамматику, но еще и приходите полностью готовыми на наши занятия и уже просто во все оружие готовы применять все знания, полученные из статьи, да, из выполнения упражнений на практике. Мы уже провели таких клабов. О боже, наверное, это скоро уже будет 80-й, то есть у нас просто есть студенты, которые с нами готовятся, и не просто готовятся, они с нами занимаются довольно-таки уже давно, 2 года, кто занимается с нами IELTS, просто потому что им нравится тренить навыки, им нравится каждую неделю читать статьи, нравится бустить свой кругозор, нравится читать, там, не знаю, разные журналы. И давайте покажу вам, как вот у нас обычно выглядят клабы. Это самый первый, сейчас нагрузится. Это уже вот сегодня, на этой неделе, мы обсуждали с ребятами тоже The Atlantic, да, The extras are tired. То есть первые обычно вопросы на такие overall comprehension, чтобы вы набрались идей, чтобы вы знали, я отвечу на вопрос вот так-то, или там я подойду к этому вопросу вот так-то. Обычно это еще очень сильно помогает и для эссе, абсолютно, да, то есть есть такие темы, что, например, там про housing projects, tearing down housing projects, bringing rich and poor together has major benefits, да, то есть вы отвечаете на вопросы, набираемся очень таких разных интересных терминов, аргументов, вообще идей, и потом идем с вами заполнять пропуски, и уже сами вопросы, они выстроены вокруг этого topic-specific vocabulary. То есть здесь вы тренируете идеи, которые вы только что, да, то есть для себя, как для себя нашли, да, через выполнение первого упражнения, и заодно внедряете лексику. Да, конечно, у Карины обычно больше чуть упражнений, да, потом, да, то есть у нас есть упражнения на грамматику также, чтобы вы потренировали grammatical range and accuracy. И потом мы с вами заканчиваем на Q-card. Describe a place you went to, which state was not good. То есть через час, да, то есть спустя час Speaking Club мы потренировали все части экзамена и сделали это meaningful, никаких списков, никаких, там, не знаю, рандомных слов. Все чисто в контексте и на интересных и качественных статьях. Сегодня вы проработали все примеры на этих статьях. Поздравляю. И IELTS Writing. Это то, как делаем мы, не делает никто. Мы занимаемся с вами индивидуально. Мы делим наших студентов обычно на две подгруппы, то есть у кого-то Карина, у кого-то я. И наши студенты смотрят наш IELTS Writing Course самостоятельно, то есть у вас получается обычно один урок в неделю. Да, один урок в неделю, и вы смотрите этот урок. Давайте покажу вам, например, вот... Давайте покажу plans, да. Вот вы смотрите этот урок, потом, получается, открываете свою миродоску. Как же я не подготовилась. Совершенно рассказать вам о нашем курсе. Вы открываете свою миродоску, которая идет дополнительно. Это своего рода как ваша тетрадь, в которой есть все конспекты, в которой вы можете повторить весь изученный материал, посмотреть, что у вас было. Давайте посмотрим Ярослава, она вот недавно у нас сдала на 7:0. То есть каждому такому видео у вас есть миродоска, мироборд, на котором все детально еще раз прописано. Давайте покажу вам, как это обычно выглядит. Ну, например, вот pie charts, да. Вот, все это очень симпатично, да. Дальше у вас два чарта, вы тренируете эти два чарта, и после этого вот вы, получается, вы посмотрели урок, вы посмотрели комментарии, да, то есть посмотрели на наши notes, потренировали две работы в неделю, и после этого мы с вами созваниваемся в индивидуальном формате и обсуждаем вашу работу. То есть смотрим, что можно было бы подкрутить, как это улучшить, то есть что можно сделать, чтобы выбить бенд выше. И после этого мы переходим на наш курс на IELTS Writing Task 2, то есть тут мы делаем абсолютно то же самое. Да, то есть у вас две работы в неделю, вы пишете их, вы смотрите уроки в записи, пишете их, мы с вами встречаемся, и две работы в дискуссии мы с вами их обсуждаем. То есть как вы выполнили, хорошо ли вы выполнили, что можно еще подкрутить, улучшить, и все в таком духе. Наше расписание, у нас есть два трека, вечерний и дневной. Посмотрите, пожалуйста, то есть получается у нас, да, то есть вы можете совмещать, вы можете выбрать, то есть мы вас ни в чем не ограничиваем, можете ходить на оба, можете ходить на один. Вообще, да, do whatever you want. И это наши студенты, тут можно посмотреть на их тест reports. И да, групповой трек, получается, он стоит 16 тысяч в месяц, туда входит как минимум 4, получается, как минимум 4 занятия по listening в месяц, максимум 8. Как минимум 4 по reading, максимум 8. Получается, по письму вы смотрите 4 урока в записи, 8 работ на проверку и 4 индивидуальных созвона с нами, то есть с Кариной или мной. И Speaking Club. Да, обычно один в неделю у нас есть 3 слота, чтобы все студенты успели. Да, и такой, да, такой супер классный набор стоит 16 тысяч рублей в месяц. Поэтому приходите к нам, мы вас очень сильно ждем. Мы очень любим наших студентов, долго с ними занимаемся. Обычно мы нацелены на долгосрочное сотрудничество, поэтому вкладываемся в каждого студента. И как видите, что студенты остаются с нами надолго, тренируют с нами их эссе и сдают на нужный им бенд. Поэтому я все рассказала. Жду ваши сообщения. Обязательно напишите мне в Telegram. Мой ник есть в чате вебинарный. Я, во-первых, вам скину презентацию, скину сегодняшнюю запись, вдруг вам хочется что пересмотреть, подумать, да, там как-то переосмыслить, вот, и ждем вас на курс. Официально мы уже объявим его в понедельник, вот, наши студенты, на самом деле, у нас январская группа, то есть ребята, которые занимаются с нами с января, они до сих пор продолжают заниматься, вот Соня к нам присоединилась, Соня, когда вы к нам присоединились? Я что-то не помню. Мне кажется, January. This January, I think. Мгм. Да, то есть Соня с нами занимается с January, мне кажется, раньше. Вот, поэтому... Yep, окей, окей. Поэтому ждем вас, и спасибо большое, вы сегодня 1,5 часа со мной, получается, просидели. Это, да, it's not mean fit. So thank you, bye-bye, and see you. Yeah, have a nice day.